is almost 20 years of Pathshala. So there are many people who have graduated from the school. There are many people who didn't graduate but have done amazing work. But this was a place for all of us to actually not only talk about photography or learn photography, but see a larger life and be part of larger life. And if you see where the under construction building is now, it was just a one room when it was started. There was a mango tree, which is not there, so we are very sad about that. But this is a place where we have all came together and became a part of the community. We fought, we laughed, we dreamt. We have done so many things. And over the course of period, it was interesting to see that the people who came out from the school, there were more people who didn't practice photography per se. I mean, they didn't produce images, but they have done far more important work. And if you see who are in the stage today, they will present themselves, but there are publishers, there are curators, there are artists, there are activists. And we thought that that's one of the success of Pathshala, that we have really managed to get beyond our medium, but still connected with the medium. And we are really looking forward to collaborate and work with different organizations. We have already started doing that in the city, and Chobi Mela is the extension. You will see a lot of collaborative projects. Yeah, so I will not talk much. Shahidul was supposed to introduce and give a talk, and of course he's busy with something else. But I hope he will come in the end and give a conclusion. Thank you. So we will start with Abir Bhai, and then Munir Bhai, then Tanzim and Muimaba. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. Of course, you know my name, but now I'll show you a photograph. Can you tell me which one is me? Which one is the notice? On the right? So that's me, the little one on the shoulder of my cousin. And you can see our house. It's actually our grandmother's house. So we used to live in this house. I born in this village, 1969. Though officially my birthday is 20th February 1971. The school gave me the date. So I have two birthdays actually. One is 1st of January 1969 and one is 20th February 1971. I'll just show some of the photos. This is our beautiful village, one of the scenario of our village. Is that you? So this is a small video of our Mukti Juddha, which is the war of our liberation. I was less than 2 years then, and we had to flee to Dhaka for shelter. Our family, we had to travel by boat, sometimes during monsoon, sometimes with food without half food. We landed to Dhaka to our uncle's house and stayed for almost 1 year before we got independence and got back to home. And my, like during the war, almost every family was affected by the war. except the fact that the few collaborators and others who support the Pakistani military. But most of the families somehow affected by the war. And my father was a doctor, and middle of August, one night, he was taken by the Pakistani military, and he was taken to the Jasher cantonment. And one day he was lined up in the firing squad for shooting. So he was along with other two persons lined up for shooting, and he was on the right side. So the first two was killed, blindfolded, and my father was the next one. But somehow the military didn't shoot him and released later after the independence. But he was tortured severely, and later he was diagnosed back pain and many other diseases. My elder brother, who was holding the cup next to me, so he actually wanted to go to the war, but he was just then 12 years old. And being the elder son of our family, my parents didn't allow him to go to the war. But he was so frustrated for not being joined the war. He was upset, and later he started writing poets about war and all about the frustration that we didn't get after the war, the expectation that we had, that we wanted to have from the war. And since he was young, and he found that none of the expectation was fulfilled, so he was so upset, and he wrote a lot of poets after the situation of the war. So when I grew up, my father's involvement, my family involvement during the war, this somehow intrigued me to think about the war veterans who actually fought in the front line, who doesn't have any experience as a soldier. And many people, many civilians took part in the war, and despite of the fact that especially the women, mothers, sisters, daughters, they also somehow helped the frontline fighters, but they were not recognized as freedom fighters. That's another irony. So then when I grew up, and after the death of my elder brother, he died at very early stage. He died at only 34 years of age. But I then didn't start taking photographs. I was not a photographer then. So after the death of my brother, slowly I came to photography and I started taking photographs. But I always remembered that how could I contribute something to the war veteran, to this great war. So then I decided to do some research and found that many people, many freedom fighters who fought in the front line are being neglected by the mainstream of the society. And only 2 or 3 days of a year, they have been remembered. Only the days when, like 16th December or Victory Day, 26th March or Independence Day. So people only remember them only those 2-3 days. So in the meantime, I got a chance to work as a fixer with a great photographer, Laurie Greenker. I don't know how many of you know her. She is a contact photographer, and she has been doing a project photographing the war veterans throughout the world. So she came to Bangladesh, and fortunately I was lucky enough to be her translator. So I took her to the war veterans, and especially to the wounded war veterans, and that's how I got a clue. I got a clue to answer how could I contribute to this war. And I always wanted to be part of this war because it's our existence and because of our family involvement. So I have decided to photograph my own war veterans who are neglected. And when first day I went to them and I approached to photograph, they simply refused me. And saying that, oh come on, you're so young. And we have been exploited by politicians, by the rich people, and even by journalists. Why should we give you permission to take photograph? But I didn't stop going there. I went there, I spent a lot of times without the camera, so initially built up a relationship with them. And I got permission after 6 months to take photograph. So I'm going to show you that body of work, but also I'd like to mention that I was also inspired by photographers like Kishore Parekh, who photographed during the Liberation War. I was inspired by our famous photojournalist Rashid Talukdar. He is also having a show at Drik Gallery. I was also inspired by Don McKillin. He is also one of the premier photographer covering different wars. So actually, this was the first exhibition in our Chobi Mela history. So my show was part of the Chobi Mela first festival in 2000. I thought this project is very important for our younger generation because history has been written by so many different ways, so many different people. And actually most of the time, the people, the common people, the civilians who are left out from the history, from the written history, from the verbal, any sort of history, these people who actually experienced, who didn't have an experience, but still they risked their life and joined the war and got freedom. My exhibition got huge publicity in the newspapers, especially it was like 27 years later, someone bringing this issue and someone is talking about these people who are neglected by the mainstream of the society. So that one thing, and I think this is one of the reasons that I must bring this issue, especially for the younger generation who have no idea about the war, who have no idea about these people who are like great example for us. And then Pathshala started 1998. Our school, I was one of the first best student, privileged. Robert is here. So Robert was our teacher in 1999, but 1998, Reja, Chris Booth were our teacher, and it was like an amazing thing. We are so excited that we're going to learn long-term photography classes, and we have our teacher, Shahidul was our full-time teacher, but then we had our teacher from UK. She's a bit older, but we had really problem with the accent. She was quite fast, so every word we had to stop her. Pardon, say it again. So that's how it started. This was one of the class, Shahidul was taking class inside the classroom. This was in 1998. The workshop, how the Pathshala started. So you can see Reza, Chris, beside Reza. So that was our portfolio presentation. So I just want to say this school means a lot to me because being the first best student, then I started teaching since 2002. Then in 2009, I was the first ever vice principal at Pathshala. And now, after 9 years, 2018, I became the principal of Pathshala. We got affiliation from Dhaka University. That is a great journey we have started. We have started our first batch of BSS, Bachelor of Photography in Social Science, in January. But I found this journey, it's not just being as a photographer, but as a human being, and as an inspiration for many young photographers, how a photographer, how a man can be a photographer and how he can contribute, not only as a photographer, but as a social being, to address the certain social issues. I can remember that I used to play good football and cricket, so initially I wanted to be a player, a sports person, but my father wanted me to be an engineer, but I was very weak in mathematics. So I couldn't fulfill his desire. And finally, photography is my profession and I'm teaching now. So the school, it's played a very important role in my life. And I'm sure that if there is no Pathshala, I could have been grown up as today. I'm concluding my session. I'm not sure if I take more than 10 minutes. Already, okay. So the last photograph I'm showing you was taken in 1993, and how I got to know Shahidul and how I got to this journey. So this is young Abir and young Shahidul. Thank you all.
Sorry for interrupting. Munir Bhai will be giving his presentation in Bangla. A translation of his speech is already given to you. I'm giving the floor to Munir Bhai.
গুড ইভিনিং। সরি, আমার জন্য এটা একটা নতুন এক্সপেরিয়েন্স, কারণ আমি কখনো এত মানুষের সামনে কখনো কথা বলিনি। ফলে আমি খুবই শাই এবং এটা আমার জন্য খুবই কঠিন। আমি আমার স্টুডেন্টদের সাথে আমি পাঠশালাতে থেকে পড়াশোনা করেছি, কিন্তু পাঠশালাতে এখন আমি পড়াই। তারপর আমার জন্য কোনো সমস্যা হয় না, কিন্তু এখন আমার জন্য বেশ কঠিন একটা সময় মনে হচ্ছে। যাই হোক, আমারও আমি প্রেসে কাজ করি। লেখাপড়া শেষ করে একদিন বন্ধু বলল যে তুমি আমার সাথে কাজ করবে। আমি বললাম হ্যাঁ, কাজ করব। কি কাজ, কোথায় কি করতে হবে কিছুই আমি জানি না। বললো সকালবেলা এসো, এবং সকালবেলা আমি আসলাম। প্রেসে কাজ করা শুরু করলাম। আমি মূলত প্রেসম্যান। আমার প্রফেশনালি আমি একটা প্রেসে কাজ করি। প্রায় 13-14 বছর পরে খুব এক্সস্টেড লাগছিল, মনে হচ্ছিল একই কাজ প্রতিদিন করি, আর ভালো লাগছিল না। সেই সময় ওয়াসিফ ভাই একটা পত্রিকা কাজ করছিল কাউন্টার ফটো নামে। কাউন্টার ফটোর পত্রিকাটা আমার প্রেসে ছাপা হবে। ছাপিয়ে আমি রাত্রেবেলা পড়ছিলাম সকল কিছু মিলে। পড়তে পড়তে মনে হলো যে আমি পাঠশালায় পড়তে যাব। তো সকালবেলা উঠে ওয়াসিফ ভাইকে ফোন করলাম, করে বললাম কি ওয়াসিফ ভাই আমি ভর্তি হব ওই জায়গায়। বললো যে আপনার তা দরকার নাই, প্রেসটা বরবাদ হবে, বেটার আপনি হচ্ছে গিয়ে প্রেসেই কাজ করেন, ও ছবি তোলা শিখতে পাঠশালা যেতে হবে না। তো কে আর কথা শুনে আমি গেলাম, পাঠশালায় ভর্তি হলাম। ওয়াসিফ ভাই আমার বন্ধু মানুষ, কিন্তু তখন আমার সে শিক্ষক। তো যেটা হয়, পাঠশালায় পড়তে গেলাম যেই সময়, আমার যেই বয়সটুক ছিল, আমি সবচেয়ে বড় বয়সে, আর আমার সবচেয়ে ছোট যে আমার ক্লাসমেট, ও সবেমাত্র ইন্টারমিডিয়েট পরীক্ষা দিয়ে এসছে। রাসেল ভাই 1 বছর আগে পরীক্ষা দিয়ে এসছে। ফলে ওই প্রথম দিন আমার ওই বন্ধুদের কারণে আমার বয়স কমে গেল, এবং আমি নতুন করে সবকিছু শিখতে শুরু করলাম। চলছে সকল কিছু, খুব এক্সাইটেড, অ্যাসাইনমেন্ট সকল কিছু কাজ করছি। 3rd ইয়ারে আমাদের আলম ভাই আমাদের ক্লাস নিতেন প্রফেশনাল ফটোগ্রাফি, এবং এখানে শেখালো যে ফটোগ্রাফি করে কিভাবে বাঁচা যাবে, কিভাবে থাকা যাবে, এইসব নিয়ে। এবং ক্লাসে বললেন সবাইকে যেন ফটোগ্রাফারই হতে হবে। ক্লাসে বলছিল একদিন যে এছাড়াও আর অনেক কিছু কাজ আছে, আমি তো ফটোগ্রাফি করি না, একটা কাজের জন্য ফটোগ্রাফি করি, দরকার হলে ফটোগ্রাফি বাদ দিয়ে অন্য কোনো কিছু করব, যদি আমার কাজটা করবার জন্য ফটোগ্রাফি না দরকার হয়। তা ক্লাসের মধ্যে আমি বললাম তাহলে আমারও মনে হয় একটা কিছু করবার আছে, ফটোগ্রাফার না হওয়া অন্য কিছু করা যাবে। আমি তখনই ঠিক করলাম যে আমি পাবলিশার হব, কারণ আমার একটা প্রেস আছে, আমি পাবলিশার হতে পারি। আসলে প্রেস আর পাবলিকেশন যে একেবারে পৃথিবীর এই কোণা আর ওই কোণা, সেই সম্পর্কে আমার আসলে কোনো ধারণা ছিল না। তো যা হয়, রাজি হয়ে গেলাম। সকল কিছু মিলে এখন নাম খুঁজে বের করো, খুব এক্সাইটেড, কাজ করবো এই সেই। তখন একটা বই পড়ছিলাম, রবিশঙ্কর বলের দোজকনামা। ওইখানে একটা শব্দ পেলাম, আরবি ফার্সি শব্দ নোক্তা। আমার কাছে মনে হলো এটা আমার জন্য অ্যাপ্রোপ্রিয়েট শব্দ, নোক্তা। আমরা নোক্তা শব্দটা আরবি ফার্সি শব্দ, কিন্তু আমরা বাংলায় নোক্তা ননর্থক শব্দ হিসেবে ব্যবহার করি। অনেকটা এরকম যে এত নোক্তা করো কেন ভাই, বেশি নোক্তা করো, এরকম ননর্থক অর্থে ব্যবহৃত হয়। আমার কাছে মনে হয়েছে আমরা যারা ফটোগ্রাফার বা আমরা যারা ফটোগ্রাফি নিয়ে ভাবি, বা আমরা ভিজুয়াল আর্টসের মানুষ, আমরা আসলে আর খুব স্বাভাবিকভাবেই একটা একটা ইমেজকে দেখি না, আমরা খুবই ক্রিটিক্যালি দেখি। আমরা খুঁত ধরতে চেষ্টা করি, আমরা অনেক কিছু খুঁজি, অনেক কিছু বলি। আমার তখন মানুষদার কথা মনে হলো। মানুষদা আমাদের মানুষ চৌধুরী আমাদের হচ্ছে এনথ্রোপোলজি পড়ান। মানুষদা আমাদেরকে এমন সবভাবে একটা ফটোগ্রাফির ব্যাখ্যা করতো, মনে হতো যে থ্রিলারের কোনো গল্প এরকম। আমার কাছে তখন মনে হলো যে আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে, তাহলে নোক্তা নামটা হোক। সভ্য ভাই আমাদের আরেকজন শিক্ষক, ওকে বললাম যে আমাকে একটা লোগো করে দেন। সভ্য ভাই একটা লোগো তৈরি করে দিল। দেন স্টার্টেড নোক্তা। প্রথম বই সিলেক্ট করলাম, আমাদের 3rd ইয়ারে হাসিফ ভাই পড়াতো অন ফটোগ্রাফি, এবং কিছু বুঝতাম না, কি পড়তাম। আমাদেরকে ওই সময় মনে হলো যে আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে, তাহলে যেই বই পড়ে বুঝিনি ক্লাসে, সেই বইটা প্রথম পাবলিকেশন হতে পারে। ট্রান্সলেটর খোঁজা শুরু করলাম, কে করবে এই বই, খুঁজে পাওয়া যাচ্ছে না। পরে আমার এক শ্রদ্ধেয় বড় ভাই, আমার সাথে দীর্ঘদিনের পরিচয়, ওনার সাথে আমার ওই প্রেসে পরিচয়, আমার কাছে একটা পত্রিকা ছাপতে এসেছিলেন, আমরা দুলাল ভাই বলি, মাহমুদুল হাসান। উনিকে বললাম যে আপনি কি আমার জন্য বইটা করবেন? রাজি হলেন। প্রথম বই শুরু হলো 2012 ডিসেম্বরে, 13তে ছবি মেলাতে ওই বইটা ইন্ট্রোডিউস করা হলো, গাছের নোক্তা প্রথম বই বের হলো। এই শুরু। আমার কাছে এইটা খুব ইন্টারেস্টিং এই কারণে, একটা কর্ম তো মানুষ কোনো না কোনো কাজের জন্য করে, কোনো না কোনো কিছুতে হয়, আমরা একঘেয়ে হয়ে যাই, অনেক কিছুতে অনেক রকমের অবসাদ আসে, সকল কিছু আসে, আমারও সেরকম এসেছিল। কিন্তু স্কুলটা আমাকে কোনো না কোনোভাবে আবার পুনর্জীবিত করলো। আমি নিজের জন্য এমন একটা কাজ খুঁজে পেলাম যেখান থেকে আসলে আমি নিজে শিখতে পারবো। প্রকাশনাটা একটা আসলে উপলক্ষ, আসলে পড়াশোনাটা করতে পারার একটা সুযোগ। আসলে প্রকাশনাটা, ওইটা একটা প্রকাশনা দেওয়ার নাম দেওয়া দরকার হয়, সেই জন্য নামটা দেওয়া শুরু করা। কিন্তু কিছুদিনের মধ্যে আমার একটা অদ্ভুত অনুভূতি হলো যে বই আমরা শুধুমাত্র যেরকম ভাবে দেখি, কতগুলো অক্ষর আর ওয়ার্ডের সমন্বয়ে একটা বই, এর বাইরেও আমরা বইকে নিয়ে ভাবতে পারি কিনা, ওর একটা ফিজিক্যাল এক্সিস্টেন্স আছে, এবং মানে কিরকম ভাবে বলবো, বুক অ্যাজ অ্যান অবজেক্ট, ওর একটা ফিজিক্যাল এক্সিস্টেন্স আছে, সেইটাকে নিয়ে আমরা ভাবতে পারি কিনা। তারও একটা কারণ আছে, কারণ ফটোগ্রাফির ক্লাসে আমাদেরকে প্রচুর ফটোগ্রাফির বুক দেখাতেন ওয়াসিফ ভাই। আমাদের ক্লাসে ডকুমেন্টারি ফটোগ্রাফিতে অনেক বড় বড় ফটোগ্রাফারদের বই দেখাতেন, এবং ওই বই শুধুমাত্র আর বই না, ওই বই আমাদের কাছে এক একটা সিনেমার মতো। যখন পৃষ্ঠাগুলো, আমার মনে আছে আমাদেরকে রবার্ট ফ্রাঙ্কের বইটা যখন দেখালো আমেরিকাটা, বলছিল যে দেলপিয়া যখন ওর বইটা বানায়, ওর মূল আইডিয়া ছিল ইটস এ ফিল্ম। আপনি যদি একদিকে সব বইগুলো আছে, সবগুলো পেজ একদিকে, এবং আপনি যদি এরকম করে বইটার ছবিগুলো তুলতে থাকেন, তাহলে আমেরিকার হিস্ট্রিটা পাওয়া যাবে। এই আইডিয়াটা আমার কাছে মনে হয়েছিল খুব, যদি আমরা টেক্সটের বইয়ে এই কাজটা করতে পারি তাহলে কেমন হয়। সেইটা হচ্ছে আমার জন্য একটা চ্যালেঞ্জ ছিল, এবং ওইটা শিখবার জন্য আমার আগ্রহ তৈরি হলো। সেই জায়গা থেকে কাজ শুরু করা। একটা প্রিয় বইয়ের কথা বলি, তাহলে বুঝতে পারবেন যে আমরা কিভাবে আসলে ভাবি হচ্ছে একটা বই করতে গিয়ে। কিরোস্তমের বইটার দেখা যাচ্ছে, আমি আর আমার বন্ধু তখন ট্রাভেল করছিলাম দিল্লিতে, কম পয়সায় বই কিনতে গেছিলাম। হারবার কলেজে একটা 100 টাকা করে সব বই 2 দিনের জন্য সেল। আমরা 2 বন্ধু মিলে ওইখানে গেলাম আসলে ফুটুফুটি করে বই কিনতে। ফিরতে রাত্রেবেলা বললো, তোমার জন্য একটা ব্যাড নিউজ আছে, তোমার প্রিয় একজন মানুষ মারা গেছেন। এমন নির্বিকারভাবে বললো, আমি বুঝতে পারিনি প্রথমে, পরে বললো কিরোস্তমি মারা গেছেন। হঠাৎ করে খুব মন খারাপ হলো, সকল কিছু হলো। উনি গেস্ট হাউসে বসে বসে হচ্ছে সেই শোক উদযাপন করছেন মদ্যপান করে, আমি হচ্ছে চুপ করে বসে আছি। আমাকে 3টে সাড়ে 3টার দিকে বললো, তোমার জন্য আমি একটা সুযোগ করে দিতে পারি, যদি তুমি চাও তাহলে করতে পারি। আমি তোমার জন্য একটা বই লিখতে পারি। সদীপন্দা মন ফকিরা, কলকাতার একজন পাবলিশার্স, বললো যে তোমার জন্য আমি একটা বই লিখতে পারি, কিন্তু শর্ত হচ্ছে তুমি ঢিলামি করবে না, তুমি খুব ঢিলে দ্রুত কাজটা শেষ করবে। আমি বললাম আমি রাজি, সাথে সাথে বললাম রাজি। সারা রাত্র ধরে কাজ করলাম, বইটা কি হবে না হবে সব কিছু করে প্ল্যান করা। সকালবেলা উঠে আমি ঢাকাতে ফোন করলাম আমার বন্ধু আর্টিস্ট, ডিজাইনার, ফটোগ্রাফারদেরকে, আমার একজন খালেদ ভাই, ওদেরকে সবাইদেরকে বললাম, এবং বললাম যে আমি এমন একটা বই করতে চাই যেটা ওর প্রতি আমার ভালোবাসাটা প্রকাশ হয়, কিন্তু তুমি আমাকে সাহায্য করো কিভাবে আমি ভাবতে পারি। বইটার কাজ শুরু হয়। আমার কাছে প্রথমেই মনে হয় যে এটা যদি একটা ছোট্ট একটা কিউবের মতো, একটা ওর কফিনটার মতো। প্রথমে কফিনের রং সাদা ছিল, পরে একটা কালো গিলাপ দিয়ে ঢাকা হয়েছিল। সব কিছু মিলে আমার কাছে মনে হচ্ছিল বইটাও যদি এরকম একটা সাদা একটা টুকরা একটা আয়তক্ষেত্রের মতো কোনো কিছু হয়। সেই জায়গা থেকে শুরু হলো। পুরো সাদা রঙের একটা বই, কোনো কাভারে কোনো কিছু নাই। আমার সাথে কাজ করতো খেয়া, তখন খেয়া বললো, মনি ভাই পুরো কাভারটা শুধু সাদা হবে। আমরা খুব এক্সাইটেড বইটা ডিজাইন করবার ক্ষেত্রে। বইটার ভিতরে সকল কিছু কিরুস্তমি যেখানে বর্তমান, শুধুমাত্র সেইটুকি হচ্ছে ওই বইটার কন্টেন্ট এবং সকল কিছু। এরকমভাবে একটা বই তৈরি হলো। বইটা ছাপাতে যে আমাদের একটা ভাবনা আসলো যে আচ্ছা বইতে ইলাস্ট্রেশন লাগবে, কারণ বইটাতে ছবি আছে, ঠিক ইলাস্ট্রেশনে না, ওর অনুভূতিটা পাওয়া, বইটার ওর কবিতাগুলোর ট্রান্সলেশন ছিল। তখন মনে হলো যে ওর ফটোগ্রাফগুলো আমার দরকার। আমি জানতাম না এর আগে আসলে সত্যি কথা যে কিরোস্তমি ফটোগ্রাফি করতেন এবং ওর ফটোগ্রাফি খুবই ইন্টারেস্টিং, ল্যান্ডস্কেপ করতেন। আমি ইরানিয়ান কালচার সেন্টার গেলাম, হতাশ হয়ে ফিরলাম, কিছু নাই ওদের কাছে। সেই সময় চায়নাতে একটা এক্সিবিশন হচ্ছিল, ও যখন মারা যায় তখন হচ্ছে ওর একটা এক্সিবিশন চলছিল, ওইখান থেকে যোগাযোগ করে কিছু ছবির রেফারেন্স পাওয়া গেল। আমরা ঠিক করলাম যে লাইন ড্রয়িংয়ে ওই ওই ইলাস্ট্রেশনগুলো করে তারপরে হচ্ছে বইতে কাজ করব, কারণ আমার বাজেট কম, বইটাকে ছাপাতে হবে এরকমভাবে। কিন্তু দেখলাম যে না, ওইটা ঠিক ওয়ার্ক করছে না আইডিয়াটা। দেন আমরা ভাবলাম যে আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে, তাহলে এটা চারকোলে করব। তখন মনে হলো চারকোলে কেন করব, কারণ হচ্ছে আমাদেরকে পুরো ইলাস্ট্রেশনগুলো ডিজিটালি করতে হবে। ডিজিটালি করলে ওইটাতে কেমন এক ধরনের প্লাস্টিসিটি আছে ইলাস্ট্রেশনের, ওইটাকে আমাকে বাদ দিতে হবে। আমি এমন একটা কাগজ চয়েস করলাম যেখানে ওর ফিল করা যায় কাগজটা, ওর টেক্সচার আছে, সেই টেক্সচারটা ফিল করতে গেলে এমন একটা ছাপাতে হবে যেই ছাপাতে যেন ওই অনুভূতিটা না আসে। এবং ফলে চারকোলটা আমার কাছে মনে হলো, কারণ ওর ছবি অনেকে হাই কি কন্ট্রাস্টি ইমেজ। ওর আমি জানি না আপনাদের কাছে কোনো ছবি আছে কিনা, এইটা ইলাস্ট্রেশন, কিন্তু ওর একটা ফটোগ্রাফ আছে ঠিক এটার মতোই, চারকোলে করা এই কাজটা। এবং এরকমভাবে এটা ট্রান্সফার হলো, একটা বই তৈরি হলো। বইটার জন্য যে কাগজ চয়েস করা হলো সেই কাগজটা খুঁজে পাওয়া গেল না ঢাকায়। আমাদের পাঠশালাতেই আমার সাথে পরিচয় হলো আসমিতা দি, মুম্বাইতে থাকেন, উনি সহায়তা করলেন। আমি দৌড়াতে মুম্বাই গেলাম, ওইখান থেকে কাগজ জোগাড় করলাম, বইটা ছাপালাম। পুরাইটা একটা এক্সাইটেশন। যতটা বেশি আপনি যদি আর্থিকভাবে ভাবেন যে বইটা বিক্রি করে কয় টাকা আসবে, সেইটা একবারও ভাবলাম না। আমি মনে করলাম যে এইটা আমার একটা অভিজ্ঞতার জার্নি এবং বইটা বের করাটা গুরুত্বপূর্ণ এইরকম ভাবে যেন বইটাতে ওই আমার ওর প্রতি যে শ্রদ্ধা সেইটা আসে। কিন্তু তার থেকে বড় কথা যে এইরকম ভাবে যে ভাবতে পারা বা এইটা যে করতে পারবার চেষ্টা করা, আমার মনে হয় আমি যদি স্কুলটায় না পড়তাম এভাবে ভাবতাম না। আমি ভাবতাম যে এত ফর্মার বইয়ের দাম এত টাকা এবং এইটা করলে এত টাকা আসবে, এতগুলো পেজের বইয়ের দাম এত টাকা রেখে এইভাবে করতে হবে। এটা খুবই সত্যি কথা, বাণিজ্য হিসাবে এটা করাটা খুব প্রয়োজন। কিন্তু একই সাথে আমি এও ভাবি যে যদি কখনো হচ্ছে এটা সত্যি এরকমের সাকসেসফুল কোনো কিছু হয়, হয়তোবা তখন টাকা আসবে, এখন হয়তোবা আসে না, কোনো এক সময় আসবে। এই রকমের ভাবতে তাকে পাশে রেখে যে এই যে এইভাবে ভাবা যায়, আমার মনে হয় আমি যদি স্কুলটায় না পড়তাম, ওই প্রেসওয়ালার মতো ওইখানে থাকতাম, তাহলে আমি হয়তো ওই ভাবনাটা ভাবতাম। আমার মনে হয় আমার প্রাপ্তিটা হচ্ছে স্কুল থেকে এইটা। আজকে হয়তো আপনাদের সাথে কথা বলবার সুযোগটা হয়তো বা হতো না। এরকম করে আরেকটা বই কালকে করেছি, সে এখনো এসে পৌঁছে নাই, আবারও এরকম আরেকটা গল্প, সকল কিছু মিলে এই আর কি। এইটা হচ্ছে আমার অভিজ্ঞতা, আমার স্কুল নিয়ে আপনাদের সাথে শেয়ার করা হলো। এই
Wow, it is like a real test because within 10 minutes I need to talk about my practice and I'm so bad with timekeeping. So please wish me luck. Can we play the video? There's a short video of 20 seconds. So I will not talk about any exhibition. My name is Tanzim Wahab. I'm a curator and I work for Bengal Foundation, an art foundation started in 2000, based in Dhaka. Abir Bhai gave a context of where are we coming from and the value which actually helped us to shape our thoughts, to shape our practice from the school we have, Pathshala. Somehow it's reflected, but reflected in many different levels. For me, doing this curation for full time, is difficult and was difficult from the beginning because I'm not a trained curator, a self-taught curator. And the word curation is also very complex. In the context of Bangladesh and the region, people have doubt about its power structure, people have doubt about the role it plays besides organizing strong shows. And when I became a curator, for me, it was a problem to resolve, because I'm coming from a very medium-centric schooling. That doesn't mean, there is no such kind of social awareness the school was trying to develop within the students and the teachers. But at the same time, having this experience of designing an exhibition in a gallery in White Cube is also very isolating. Isolating especially for those practitioners who are coming from a community-based practice and who actually truly try to work on culture building. And then once you are left with a space where you need to put artworks, what to do with that? So for me, I started actually, when I knew that I have a problem, I thought maybe we can actually maximize the word problem and start making problem or problematizing. Then it won't be bad in a way that through creating more and more problems through exhibitions, I'll rather learn. So this is not even an exhibition I am going to show. This is very short time. So this is more like an exercise of an exhibition we had. And I titled it as Substicks. And I'm really not even comfortable to call it as an exhibition. It's more like a temporary library that I have put in an exhibition space. As I said, for me, this isolating space is a problem. And how to humanize a space like White Cube, and how to make people slow down and relax, and not to give the pressure to actually go through art, and rather to sit there and do whatever they want to do. And even if they are confused, it was really interesting for me to actually raise that uncomfortability. So what I did, and also there is a certain kind of conversation in Bangladesh about many different kind of binaries, art and non-art, form and meaning. I think this afternoon we had some conversations of, the role of photographic education and what is visual a language or not. Of course it's a language, even the verbal language that I'm speaking in, it also sometimes ends up failing to transmit its meaning. So what I did, I invited some artists to work with text, and we also had books, and it was a juxtaposition of text, it was books, many different forms of artwork, so that people can actually, it says that like this, text-based art and art-based text. And it was quite confusing for some people to actually touch a book initially and to think, is it like an object, the way Munir also mentioned about a book as an object, or is it something that you can read? And even if you read it, the knowledge that you can acquire, does it also a value of art? Does it also stop you somewhere? So this was more like an inquiry for me to see language and its possibilities, and also art, and sometimes how visual can be a language, or vice versa. And this feeling of something very temporary is important in a way, because in our context, for me, nothing is perfect. I mean, whenever we talk about art and our role, everything comes through fragments. So this one small fragment of a reading room in a space which has a certain kind of different value or hierarchy of looking at art is also a way of humanizing, so that this reading room is a community reading room, and people actually spend lots of time reading and touching artworks. So it's really difficult in a way for the curators to, if it's mostly about being into the world of art, that's a very comfortable bubble, but at the same time, testing and questioning the role of art, and also trying to see who are behind the art, it's so important in a way. And I really believe in Michael Dusham's that particular comment on, I don't really believe in art, I believe in artist, the person herself or himself. So there were the artists who actually were in the show. They were present, and for them it was also not only contributing their artwork, they contributed the books which were very important reference for them to grow, the ideologies. So yeah, it was the entire process itself for me was really important to engage artists, not necessarily on producing art, but sometimes to have a break and to just do something which is much more riskier. So thanks for your patience. I'm sure many of you are waiting. This is a packed room, and I think most of, all are waiting for Raghu Rai's talk. So I can clearly understand, but thanks for your patience.
Hello everybody. I'm not sure you're tired or feeling sleepy. I'm Taslima. I never thought that I could be a member of photography community, but I like photography. From my childhood, I like to take photo of my family members, friends, and political activity. I usually introduce as a political activist. So I thought that maybe I can take photo, but my main work is activism, political activism. In 2008, when emergency in our country, there is a military government. That time I think maybe I can try to explore my interests, but still that time I thought I don't need to go any photography school because I know how to take a good photograph. So when I go under the mango tree at Pathshala, I found that I know nothing about photography. And I also found that photography is a very strong language through which I can make my language more stronger, and through which I can do my political activism also. So I started to learn photography. This is the story behind how I involved with photography. Now I want to introduce you with some of my very close friends who inspired me a lot in my journey with garment workers and my political activism. And I don't think I can tell you the whole story, how they inspired me, how they helped me to get rid of fear. And it's a long story, but it's true that they helped me a lot. They are not so-called middle-class successful women. They are garment workers, Shoshi, Rahela, and Shima. They are garment workers, they are fighters for their rights. When I was student of Pathshala at first year, we had to submit a year-long project. That time I decided to do a project on garment workers' life and struggle. And that time also I was not involved with garment workers organization. That time I just left student organization, I involved with the women organization. And I was not mentally ready to involve myself with the garment workers' right organization because it is not so easy to work in this sphere. So I started to taking photograph from 2008. I have documented garment workers' life for more than 10 years. And first I tried to follow their personal life, their daily life, how is their living condition, how is their wage condition, these things. And I was always careful about their personal life, their sensitivity. I never try to disturb them, never try to hurt their dignity. And somehow I felt that after a few days I was following them day and night every time. And I feel that I become invisible in front of them. And they started to rely on me. I think it's a very big achievement for me. And 4 years I have documented their life and struggles, and I focused on their wage issue. After that, I started to collect some photo from their family albums, which photo they have taken from very local studio. And I tried to understand how they try to introduce themselves. And when I am a photographer, as a documentary photographer, how I am showing the reality and how they want to show their dream. Because no one wants to show their poor condition or bad condition. They want to hang those photos on wall that show their dignity. So the dreams and reality is not the same thing. And at the end of 2008, we have started an organization named Bangladesh Garment Workers Solidarity with some of our friends from middle class and also with very few of working class. And after that, last 10 years, now there are many members from garment worker, and they are leading this organization. I'm also working with this organization. First few years, from 2008 to 2012, I focused on wage and living condition and other things. And in 2012, end of the 2012, maybe some of you know and many of you know that there is a fire inside a factory. The factory name is Taslima, and more than 100 workers died. And I felt that it's a big thing. And when Rana Plaza happened in 2013, it crossed all limits, and more than 1,000 workers died. And this situation pushed me to work on safety issue. So I started to taking photo on Rana Plaza, and the very first day when the collapse happened, I was there. Some of my friends informed me. I was there with my activist friends. So I was trying to document the things, and at the same time, the situation was so cruel, so it is not possible for me that time to take the photograph all the time. So sometimes I tried to help my friends who were working as a rescuer, who were looking for their beloved person. And this photo is very much important for me, and I think it is important for Bangladesh garment workers also, because this photo somehow conveys the condition of garment workers' life, that how our owners and governments and international brands buyers, they think that garment workers are not human beings. They are very cheap, they are life, they don't have any dream, like these things. And when I took that photo the very first night, I never looked back to this photo, and most of the time I posted some photo on Facebook for social awareness and communication. But that time I couldn't have time to put it on Facebook. After 2 days I uploaded this photo, and I never knew that when this photo shared million times. And that time I got many questions from journalists, from TV, radio, and it's a crazy time for me. And I was feeling so much disturbed because the situation is not so good, because more than 1,000 workers are dying inside the building, and we know all these things. The mother and family member, they are looking for their beloved person. So the situation was not so easy for me. When I uploaded the photo, I want to say a few things about the photo. Please. When I uploaded the photo, I tagged some of my friends, and one journalist friend, he said to me, "Why you uploaded these kinds of photo on Facebook? Please don't tag me." And I said that for these kinds of cruel situation, all of we are responsible. So I think I should share this on Facebook. I should share this with our citizen of our country, and I should share it with international audience also, because we have to take the responsibility in our shoulder. Then he just ignored me, and the very next year I saw that he make his cover photo on the Rana Plaza anniversary and in this photo. That time I was mentally stressed, and I got many emails from different corner of the world, which helped me to get strength that time. And I always feel grateful who took time to write me that time. They took personal time for write me, and they shared their feeling about these things. And this photo somehow, I was not ready all the time. I was involved with government workers organization, but when Rana Plaza collapse happened, I feel that more than 1,000 family, they lost their beloved person. They don't have enough property, nothing, and they lose their beloved person. So there is nothing to be feared. So these things helped me a lot. After year, we have published a book, a 480-page Bangla book on Rana Plaza with the story of dead and missing workers, different writings, and it's a compilation. And we thought that it is very necessary to document the history, because in most of the country we don't find the working class people's history, so it is very much important. And maybe you are seeing some exhibition, these are not very known place. We do some exhibition in gallery which is for middle class, but we organize some exhibition at workers area where they live, and we curate this exhibition together. And he is also a garment worker, he is no more now. This is in front of Ashulia. This is the big garment workers area. This is the book. And we also thought that we need to give pressure on international brands and buyer, and garment issue is not a local issue, it's a global issue. That's why we need to tell the story of Rana Plaza and tell the story of garment workers to international audience also. That's why we translated the book on Rana Plaza from that garment organization with whom I involved. And last year, when the Rana Plaza, when 5th years of the anniversary, we thought how we can remember Rana Plaza and how we can give a call for the workers who are working in different factories. Then that time I was very much inspired by Robin Person. Maybe you know about Robin Person. She is an artist and historian. She make actually 2 quilt. One on workers who are from Triangle Sweater factory. It was at New York, and 100 years ago, more than 100 workers died when fire broke out in Triangle Sweater. So Robin made a quilt with those workers, and we are inspired by her work, and we think maybe we can make something in our own way. And we organized the first exhibition in front of Rana Plaza. And this exhibition also we curated with all family members who made this quilt. And from my journey from last 10 years, now I think how my photography can work as my political activity, and how not only me, how we can engage workers and citizens with the issue that garment workers are very much important in our life. And if we are talking about the democratic transition of our country, we need to ensure wage and safety and trade union rights of garment workers. And they are the maybe all of you know that coming 8th March is 109th International Women's Day, and garment workers are the part of this history. So I want to salute Bangladeshi garment women workers, and I want to salute those workers who died, who fight for our rights. Thank you.
This is typically what happens, you know. You end up with a bunch of students like this and they're troublemakers. And constantly lay traps for you. But anyway, it's a very nice trap to have. I don't actually want to take any time. I just want to tell you how proud I feel. This is a school. But this is our talk we were having earlier on. Because we talked about where photography can be taught. And I think the question should be much bigger than that. I think whether life can be taught. And I think at the end of the day, any school that's worth its mettle has to be judged on the basis of whether it has been able to provide an insight into life, insight into living, a set of values. And we looked a lot at, yesterday Robert was showing pictures of Dominic Cullen and we've seen pictures of conflict. One of the things that was very significant during the Malay massacre was a set of studies that were being done where people wanted to know who did what. There were people who killed and there were people who didn't. And they looked to see whether there was a statistical difference between those who did and those who didn't, whether they were from poor families or rich families, whether they were, you know, from particular broken backgrounds, all sorts of things, and they couldn't find anything that provided a significant correlation, except for one. In the homes where children, as they were growing up, were taught certain values, there it made a difference. Those who grew up with a sense of values didn't do certain things. Those who grew up without those values did certain things. And I think at the end of the day, that is all any school can do. It can provide a set of values. The actual mechanics of learning things can be done in lots of different ways. I'll just end with one thing. When I wanted to start the school, people thought I was crazy. People think I'm crazy anyway, but that's another issue. And they thought I was crazy because they thought I was actually undermining my own career. You know, if you build a school, if you teach, before then, to a large extent, the process had been, learning was through apprenticeship. And the teacher didn't give away all the secrets. You know, some were guarded, some were given, and given at various levels, and given out in small doses. The idea really was that if you're giving away your secrets, they will become your competitors, which is true. They are my competitors, and I'm very privileged to have them as my competitors. But the point I'm making is that if, and I'm being very concrete here, the person who's gained the most from this is me. Because I have, through this process, had we not had this school, had I not these students who became now my colleagues and friends, I would have worked in isolation. And you can only go so far in an isolated space. And the biggest gift I've had is the fact that these former students who are now my colleagues constantly challenged me, questioned me, provoked me, stimulate me. And I think that is the best any school, any learning environment can do. So, come on.